We are about to go now for our discussion zone. Are you ready? Well, stay tuned.
The new Africa is fresh, creative, and energetic. And I love Africa Global Radio.
Join us with your thoughts, comments, and contributions on Facebook, Africa Global Radio, on Twitter, AF Global Radio. The hashtag is the Africa Daily Show, or via our WhatsApp platform +233 2070646680, and we will receive it in good hands and read it out to the rest of the world. Now, we are about to go talk about impactors, beginning today with our scientists. I mean, a lot of things that they've done that we're enjoying today, you know. I mean, a lot, believe me. Popular one is I can remember half is the popular one is actually the traffic lights. But unfortunately, we get there, we have to stop like ever. I don't know, that one is our own doing. But beautiful, and it's actually very great. You have that sense of feeling, mentioning the fact that some of these things that we enjoy today, from science equipment, from the idea of actually doing certain operations and this and that, were actually pioneered by global Africans, right? And we're going to be looking into details. Possibly we will not be able to cover it all, but acknowledging is very, very key, and that is what we are here to do, to champion and let the untold stories, disseminate out there. My colleagues are here ready. Arthur's just joined us. Guy, how are you?
I'm doing great.
What did you do yesterday concerning language, mother tongue? Did you try anything changing someone's mentality?
Change someone's
I mean,
mentality.
something. What have you done?
You saw the time I left here, so
Me, I didn't see you. How can I see why? How many eyes do I have? But anyway, we're talking about impactors today.
okay.
We'll be looking at that, other avenues as well. We'll be exploring. But today we're looking at scientists, global Africans, and what they have done. And I believe you know that a lot of them have contributed a lot to the science space globally. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Barry.
Mm.
Yes, today it's still Black History Month.
Absolutely.
And, today
Absolutely.
I believe we are engaging in praise singing of Black heroes
Mm.
that were a huge part of
Absolutely.
or they were game changers in
Mm.
their fields of endeavor.
Mm.
And so it's only proper that we acknowledge them
Right.
on in such a month.
Mm.
Now, in my readings, I came across so many names,
Mm.
but I mean, a few names stuck out
Stood
to me.
out for you.
And for me,
Mm.
just two I would like to talk about on this platform, but I'm sure it's hopefully it would pique someone's interest out there
Right.
to actually decide to read further on these guys and a lot more.
Mm.
Now, for me, in my readings, I came across two important names here
Okay.
in sciences and invention. In the person of Madam Annie Easley and Garrett Morgan.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm sure my colleagues have a lot more to give you, but
Mhm,
these are the two for me that stuck out.
Mm.
And so, just by way of history and why they are important,
Mm.
yes, in terms of their contributions and inventions.
Mhm.
Now, let's start with Madam Annie Easley.
Mm.
Annie Easley was born on April 23rd, 1933, in Alabama.
Mm.
Now, when I mention Alabama, straight away you should know what comes to mind. I mean,
Montgomery?
Jim Crow laws and everything.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you thought, the slave trade and post-slave trade was hard enough in the
Mm.
North, I mean, think of Jim Crow in the South, and you realize it was even worse for them
Worse,
because
yeah.
yes, on paper they were free, but in reality
They
it
were
was
not.
a completely different thing. Now
Right.
try imagining someone trying to have an education in such a time.
Mm.
So that was such a time in which she was born in, and she wanted to have a very good education. Now she
Mm.
started out and wanted to be a pharmacist.
Right.
Yes, and so this dream saw her move out to Cleveland, Ohio,
Mhm.
eventually.
Mm.
Now, in the pursuit of a pharmacy degree, in the process, something happened. The school got shut down.
Okay.
Yes, and she wasn't able to acquire the pharmacy degree she had wanted. Now, she was seated back home and didn't know what to do, looking for other avenues to turn. When she picked up a newspaper,
Mm.
and she chanced on a story about twin sisters. These twin sisters that worked as computers.
Okay.
They called them computers, and that was their job. And they worked at a place called the National Advisory for Aeronautics.
Okay.
National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, NACA. It's also known as NASA now.
Okay.
Yes, NASA, National Aeronautics for Space Administration,
Mm.
if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
That's what it was formerly called. Now, these twin sisters worked there, and their job was to compute figures and everything.
Wow.
Now, they were called computers because it wasn't because there were no computers.
Mm.
What we know as computers now were just huge machines
Yeah.
that simply did simple arithmetic.
Large screens and what
Yes,
have you.
just addition, multiplication, subtraction,
Mm.
and all that.
Okay.
The complex ones were actually done by human beings. So that's why they call them computers.
Wow.
Yes. So that was her job basically.
Mm.
So she was supposed to do that. That was what piqued her interest. So when she applied for such a job, she got hired as a mathematician and an engineer, computer engineer. Now, as time went on, her job description had to change because computers were becoming more complex.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so she had to shift it to rockets and everything. And with rockets, she began a little bit of computer programming and everything. Let's just say her works is a huge part of why rockets are able to lift off because she designed a program that control the fuel mixture in rockets that we see today
Wow.
that are able to lift off.
Wow.
Yes.
Super. Well, I will be coming back to you, Hafiz. Let's hear what my other colleagues got to say. Okay, let me start with Mami. What's up?
I'm good.
Yeah. Now we are about to talk about science,
Yeah.
photosynthesis.
I mean, there's so.
Why are you laughing?
Is he laughing because of what he said?
No, like one of those famous, one of those popular,
We just decided to turn a blind eye to what you said. I
what,
mean,
synthesis?
we
I was
didn't
trying,
hear
I
it.
didn't want to bite my tongue, for God's sake. Why you
But
bring,
he brought it back.
I
He
didn't
said
bring it back.
photosynthesis.
because, anyway, it's fine. Let's proceed, eh? Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, one time I quoted Kwame Nkrumah, and then he said, "The black man given the opportunity
Uh-huh.
can do anything
Super.
and everything."
Exactly.
And Hafiz gave a beautiful introduction as to how there are so many scientists
Yeah.
who did so many amazing things and they are not known about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the first scientist I will talk about is a Nigerian doctor who removed an unborn baby from the womb of the mom,
And
operated on her,
placed it back again.
and then returned it
The
to
baby.
the mother's womb.
Wow. Extraordinary. Extraordinary.
So he's Dr. Oluyinka Olutoye
Wow.
from Nigeria, as I said.
Mm.
And then in 2016, while working in a hospital in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Olutoye co-led a team of 21 doctors
Mm.
that removed a sacrococcygeal teratoma.
Did you see how she slowly picked the words? I know. My people, you're my witness. I hope you're listening out there. Let's proceed.
And that is a large tumor that grows on the tailbone of a fetus.
Wow.
And then after removing the teratoma, the tumor,
Okay.
he returned the 3-week-old fetus to the mother's womb, much to the world acclaim. I mean, this is an outstanding
Oh,
feat.
yeah.
And he's the only doctor in the world
Who has
that has
ever
been able
performed such
to
a
do such a
procedure.
thing.
Super amazing. Wow. And you tell me it's not worth mentioning and acknowledging? Not fair.
And then we have the first and only doctor who is a trained cardionephrologist. I mean, I think we put something up about him
On our
did you
website?
know, on our website.
Yeah.
And a cardionephrologist is a heart and a kidney specialist. He's also from Nigeria. He's called Dr. Olurotumi John Badero. And he's a Nigerian American physician who's the first only fully trained cardionephrologist in the world.
Wow. Okay, so you see, excellence right there. If you don't talk about it, who will? Right, let's hear Epi on what she got to say on impactors in the science space today. Epi. Yeah. I cannot hear you. Speak.
Okay.
I cannot hear Epi. Okay, let's just you speak through that while the
Okay,
fix
so I will want to talk about Benjamin Banneker.
that. Okay.
Yes, and he was, when you talk about science, we talk about math. I mean, mathematics. Not the children's type,
Nope.
not the basics.
Nope.
He was actually into the deep details of the calculations.
Wow.
And One thing, he happened to be heralded as the first black astronomer in the United States.
Wow.
Yes.
Benjamin
And
Banneker, yeah, we did.
yes,
We talked
Benjamin
about him
Banneker.
sometime
And
back, yeah.
one thing he actually did was he utilized his knowledge of astronomy and mathematics, and he happened to author one of the first series of almanacs. You know an almanac?
Yeah, the book that does the, what do you call it, talks about the universe, something.
Not only universe, almanacs are like a compilation of knowledge of different things, but I think his was
okay.
basically based on science.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and his own accurately predicted the position of the sun, the moon,
Yeah,
and the
Yeah.
planets.
Yeah.
It was something he really did well.
And with Banama, is it Benjamin Banneker?
Yes.
He didn't get any formal education.
Yes.
That's the surprising part
Yes,
about
that's
his.
the thing. And
his own-
one thing too was that he also he built a wooden pocket, like the pocket
Clock?
watch.
Yeah.
Yes, the pocket watch. 'Cause
Yeah.
he didn't really have much of a study in those things. Like I said, he didn't have a formal education. He was
Yeah.
able to put
He has the ability.
exactly
to do
put that.
those.
And in the year 1788, he accurately predicted an eclipse.
An eclipse,
Yes,
yeah,
which did
yeah.
come to pass.
You want to know more about this, individual, just log on to africaglobalradio.com. And this part I read that he was also part of the planning of Washington, D.C. Yeah, it was also like a key member of the whole planning thing. And just amazing. Right.
Now he is just the first person I want to talk about.
Mm.
One person I also want to talk about is Charles Drew.
Okay.
Yes, and I mean, well, unfortunately, he passed on in the year 1950. Yes, most of all these people are way back.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Is Banneker still alive?
No.
Okay. Because you said unfortunately he passed away. Like Banneker is alive. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Okay,
Like,
okay, I get you. I get you.
like this one
I
is
get
alive.
you.
Unfortunately, this one.
I get you. So, please, both of the people, none of the people I'm talking about are alive.
Way
Both
back
of them are
20th,
dead.
20th century's masters we're talking about here.
Dead.
Okay.
So with Charles Drew, he was a medical doctor and a
Okay.
medical researcher.
Right.
And he pioneered research into blood, which helped save a lot of lives
Yeah.
during the World War II.
Yeah.
One thing he invented was a means of separating plasma from whole blood.
Wow.
Yes, so he could separate the plasma from the blood, and he worked so that it could be stored up to a week. You understand?
Yeah.
And this was far longer, at that time, was far longer than the time that was possible. You can't separate plasma from blood and store it up
And
to
store
a
it-
week.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
but he invented a means of being able to do that, and it worked for them, and it saved so many lives during the World War II.
Right. I think that's where the blood bank thing came about.
Exactly.
Super. Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
all of these people we're talking about, just log on to our website and you find them.
And
all.
one
Okay.
thing about him, he was also the way he found the way through which he realized that despite your blood type, the plasma could actually be transfused into
Right.
other people.
Okay.
So it probably were different blood types where we have
Okay.
the plasma.
All right.
I could actually transfuse this plasma into this person and save their life.
Wow, super. The show was Africa Daily on Africa Global Radio. I was talking about traffic lights by kind courtesy Gareth Morgan. Yeah, he invented the traffic lights. You get there, it has to say green before you go, red you stop, amber get ready to stop. But yeah, before I bring you in, Hafiz, I'd like to come back to Albase, Ghana, and acknowledge one of those renowned scientists. I mean, yeah, maths obviously is engulfed in that space. Talk about Professor Alute. Yeah, I mean, Professor Francis Kofi Ampenyi Alute. I mean, he's done a lot of incredible. I mean, when you hear his name, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Mathematics, right?
Of course.
Now, he became a world authority and an instant fame with his work on soft X-ray spectroscopy. Hey! English, man!
Really good.
No. This is a science terminology. What's your problem? Yeah,
You
so,
asked for
yeah. Spectroscopy, which established the principle widely known as Alute formalism. I don't know about this particular one. Maybe it could be just one of those rumors that says this almighty formula thing that he actually propounded. I don't know how true that is.
Neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, he's one of those top names, and for which he received a Prince Philip Gold Medal Award in 1973. Very, very significant. And I mean, we have a number of them that we can actually what do you call it? Give credits to even our Veronica bucket is actually a form of science. I mean, Madam
Absolutely.
Veronica coming up with this particular, system of actually getting. Yeah, mommy.
And then there's this guy here in Abbey's Ghana. I don't know his name.
Mm.
And I didn't hear about the invention until I went to the honeysuckle in Osu
Okay.
some weeks back.
Right.
So he also invented a hand washing machine.
Okay.
It's like, but what you do is you do not you see with the Veronica buckets you have to open it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But this one you step on something beneath it,
Yeah.
and then the water pours into your hand. So then after washing your hand, you're not touching surfaces
An
again.
improved version, I believe.
It's
I mean, everything needs updating, right? So starting from one place, now we move into the next stage.
yeah,
where-
and then apparently I think the president gave him some funds, the
Okay.
president of Abbey's Ghana,
yeah.
to do a mass production of his
that.
invention.
Yeah, I think I've actually used one before.
It's-
One of these
it's-
institutions. Yeah.
That's
I used
that
it.
is like one of the greatest inventions
All credits.
that have
yeah.
been made considering the times we are in
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
yeah. You wouldn't want to go touch something after you've touched it,
After
and then you go back and touch it
and
again.
then you touch it again.
But-
So the Veronica bucket is great, but
Kudos,
this is like
absolutely.
an improvement
But you know,
on the
obviously,
Veronica bucket.
all the time it has to go back to where it all started. This is where it started, and now we've upgraded it, right? I don't think the iOS
Absolutely.
version you're using right now is the same thing that was like then.
No.
I know you don't even allow it. You call whoever it is that's involved. But yeah, Hafiz,
Yeah.
let's hear you.
Anyway, so you talked about the next person I want to talk about, Garrett Morgan. But
Okay,
in this space, I'm not talking about traffic lights.
traffic lights. Yeah,
I'm
that's
talking about-
that's one peculiar thing about these
Yes.
inventors and scientists.
I mean,
yeah.
he was phenomenal. And
Mm.
the next one, he completely changed the game as far as firefighting goes.
Right.
Yes, I'm sure you've heard of gas mask.
Yeah. Yes.
So-
Head of that. Head
Exactly,
of
so-
that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, he completely changed the game in that regard. I mean, because he noticed that firefighters were completely running into burning buildings every now and then.
Unprotected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the risk of stuff falling on you
Oh
or
yeah.
you know coming out, and you are running to burning fumes and
Inhaling
hot air
toxic substance. Yeah.
of about 1,100 degrees Celsius, something that could cause lasting damage to the lining to your lungs.
Yeah, internal organs, right.
That's something huge. So this was a man that was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to solve that problem. I'm going to do something about it.
Right.
And so he invented a filtration system.
Okay.
Yes, in the form of a mask or a hoodie, if you'd like, and using just cotton and fabrics.
Wow.
So when he invented this, now it didn't completely solve the problem because then when they rushed into buildings, they struggled to breathe.
Okay.
So obviously that invention needed improvement.
Yeah.
How was he going to improve upon what he had?
Mm.
And so he was stuck. He didn't know what to do. And his eureka moment came when he visited a circus and watching elephants do their thing, perform.
Using the way the
Using their
nose-
trunk and
yeah,
everything.
the trunk and stuff. Yeah.
So that was where he got the next idea as to how to improve,
Wow.
his mask.
Charlie, these guys like the way they think, like something else.
Yeah. So he came back
Yeah.
and worked on it, improved it.
Mm.
Now he improved everything and made noise about it, but guess what? Nobody would use it
Because
because
Hey.
just take a wild guess. Why?
Charlie, I mean, the guy's race now.
Exactly. So
Charlie.
so because he's black, no one would trust anything that came.
Wow.
Black
Take a
man
look at that.
inventing something. Really, how would that go? So that was the whole reaction to it.
Yeah.
No one would use it.
Yeah.
So he didn't mind until in 1916,
Mm.
32 miners working on a gas pipeline, or in a tunnel rather, hit a gas pipeline, and so they were trapped. Who was going to save these guys? 32 miners, and not just were they trapped; those that came there on a rescue mission also got stuck.
Okay.
Now all of a sudden they remembered, okay, there's this guy.
Oh, so he's an
around
alternative
that-
now.
Exactly. That
Guy
has,
for show off. Where's
that has
Barry?
a mask.
Where I did, guy?
that has a mask that we could use.
All right.
Now, even in the face of trouble,
Uh,
they called this guy and were like, "There's no way in hell we're going to use it. You use it."
what?
Yes.
So so it's more of like experiment,
Exactly.
life-saving thing.
Look, it could go sideways.
and you
but-
should be the one to suffer the cost,
Exactly.
huh?
They're like, well, if you trust your invention, why don't you use it?
Right.
So it was a risky thing to do.
Wow. Wow.
So what he decided to do, I mean, when he came with his brother,
Yeah.
and they decided to put on the hoodie or the mask that he had invented.
Mm.
He went in there and rescued over 20 people
Wow.
and brought out those that actually died as well.
Wow. Black excellence, I am saying.
And here's the best part. Now, for someone that puts out such an invention, I mean, you can make a fortune.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Now, you know what he did?
Uh-huh.
He decided to hand it over to the state, so he didn't make a penny from it.
Not even patenting it and owning it. And now it's everywhere. You see
Yes,
firefighters that wear that
there's an
stuff and they...
improvement. Just check out the picture of the first ones he did. I mean, it looks very funny.
but brilliant idea.
Yes, like you talked about improvements. We are constantly
Absolutely.
improving
Yes,
on
yes,
stuff,
yes,
and,
yes, yes. Wow.
It's amazing how far
Great.
we've come.
I remember talking about this guy, this young, high school student in Sierra Leone. Is it Sierra Leone? Yeah. I mean, he invented a radio. No, a mobile phone with that doesn't use a SIM card. All you need is just a frequency, just like the radio frequency, and then there you go. Imagine if this is available during free night calls. What will happen? Or you don't even need free night calls. All you need is daytime calls. All you need is daytime calls, man.
Aren't you the romantic?
You see, oh.
See where you're
No, but I mean, come on, it's all part of the game. It's part of it. But I think, global Africans are really doing amazing stuff across the continent, and they have really contributed a lot. Talk about Louis Latimer.
Yeah, and then talk about Williams Kamkwamba.
Kamkwamba, the boy who harnessed the wind. Yes, there's a movie out of that, right? Super.
Great minds.
Talking about movies, I mean, go see Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figure. Yeah. Anyway, he's already dancing. Anyway, Epi's got something to say.
And there's also Mac E. Dean.
Mac E. Dean, yeah.
Yes,
We talked about him as well here some
one of the top
time back.
engineering minds who developed a system that allows computers to communicate with printers and then other devices.
Wow.
So it's like every time you print something, you have Mac Dean to thank.
See? Yep.
And this is one of the systems that is used worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide, very true. I mean, everywhere. Everywhere.
In every workspace.
Yeah, very true, absolutely. Okay, Epi.
Yeah. So yeah, my line is on now. So
yeah.
Well, I want to talk about the inventor of the microphone, which we're actually using to talk about.
Yeah.
James West, and he was really fascinated with microphones and a lot of radio frequencies and everything, but he loved sound.
Yeah.
Now he was a physicist, and he studied how to actually use a foil and the electromagnetic space around the microphone. I'm trying to avoid falling into the ditch of mentioning the scientific words wrongly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
I'm taking my time on that.
I know.
But he actually did a lot of research, and this led him to see how humans hear. He also taught him how to invent sensitive yet gadgets that use less power.
Okay.
We're talking about the microphones. And so anytime you have any form of a microphone, the one we're using, the one to actually even have in phones, you should know that it was actually as a result of his work, his engineering that brought together that whole thing.
Great. I mean, there are a number of them, and one of the reasons why sometimes you don't even know about them is the issue of the patenting. You don't get you're not given the opportunity to patent your products and what have you. Segregation was at its peak. You know, you don't get the just like what he said about Gareth Morgan. Nobody wants to use it because it's coming from this particular person. Epi?
Yeah, we also have Arthur Bedram Cuthbert Walker.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll stick with Arthur Bedram.
All right.
Yeah, so you there?
Cuthbert, yeah.
Okay, let's just stick with Arthur Bedram.
Right.
Don't worry. So one thing he did was he developed the X-ray and ultraviolet telescopes. You know, some people like to look at the sun, but looking at that much heat and energy, it's not possible to do that without causing damage to yourself. So he came about with the technology that developed an X-ray and ultraviolet telescope, and they used it to capture the first detailed photograph of the sun's outermost atmosphere. Wow. And then also they used it to actually look at the corona itself when it came out in the year 1987.
Wow.
Yeah, the
Wow.
corona.
This
virus.
particular virus.
No, this is a different type. This is the corona, the SARS different type. It's like
Okay.
a family of
Ah,
coronas.
right,
Yes,
right,
we've had
right.
some
Okay.
before.
Well, yeah, if we want to sit here and mention, we would keep mentioning until the end of time. But one thing you can be certain of is the fact that global Africans, black Africans from diverse, ethnic group, diverse, races and everything have really contributed their quota. And a lot of things that we're enjoying today, even the ironing board, I talked about it a couple of days back, the sanitary pad, yes, was by an African American lady. And surprisingly, when she actually did the first one, just like Garrett's own, she wasn't giving the chance to patent it. Not until another year where people have started, and sometimes they actually steal your
Steal the
idea.
ideas, yeah.
But the history will never lie. There's always going to be that revelation of where it all started. All right, thank you very much, guys, for joining me and sharing. And there is more. A lot of this, tons of them on AfricaGlobalRadio.com. We celebrate them every now and then. I mean, every time we come across the brilliance, the legacies, what they have done, the impact it has actually done for the current generations and what it would do for the next generations. I mean, we definitely need to acknowledge that right here on the Africa Daily Show. And let's the message out. I am Barry Musa.